Hi, I'm Cheryl and I'm here in our Micro Make lab. Today I'm going to show you about our Silhouette CAMEO 3. It's an item that's currently available on micromark.com. You may know of Silhouette as being a cutting machine, cutting vinyl, it cuts thin wood, styrene, but I'm going to show you a couple other things that you can do with the machine that you may not have thought of. So I have 3 projects today that we're going to work on. I'm going to be using the Silhouette Studio that easily hooks up to my laptop here. Takes a little bit of playing with, but I'm sure you can figure it out. Pretty simple. So today, the first thing that we're going to do is I have a thin piece of plywood here. The Silhouette cannot cut through this thick plywood, however, we're going to do some sketching on it. So the Silhouette CAMEO 3, something new about it, it has a dual carriage, so it allows you to use 2 different items at once. And I'm going to go ahead and use 2 of the Silhouette sketch pens, one in black and one in blue. And I have already affixed the piece of plywood to my CAMEO Silhouette mat here. I've already loaded it into the machine by pressing load. The next steps that I'm going to do is I'm going to take the document that I have here, the sketch that I made. It's a trolley car, and we have our Micromark logo and some writing below it. That's what I have created in the design store. The next thing is I'm just going to click on send because I already have it hooked up via USB to my laptop. As you can see here, I have tool number 1, which is the red tool. You can see the red circle here that signifies that. And the red tool is going to sketch in my black pen. Then I have the blue tool, which is in the blue slot, and that is tool number 2. That's going to sketch as well, and that is going to sketch out the rest of my stuff. You can leave it as just a sketch on there. You'll see it'll come out nice, or you can sketch onto a thin piece of wood like this that you'd like to use a wood burning tool to finish the project or do something along those lines. So basically the only thing I have left to do is make sure that this flows nicely under the bar here. You can pull the bar up if you need to, if your product's a little bit thicker. In this case, I want it to be nice and tight, so I'm going to make sure the bar is locked here and that the locking points are where I want them to be. So I'm just going to hit send since everything is already set up here. We have it ready to sketch for both of those using the sketch pen. So I'm going to hit send. I'm going to hold it down and it's going to start loading itself. So as you see, this is sketching on there. It's not meant to be a final product. We want to use it for wood burning after or some other type of finished product. Okay, so our sketching project is done. As you can see, the blue has done what I have in blue on here, and then the black did what I have in red. I just wanted to point out a couple of things. So number 1, you can see how fine of print you can do on this, which is awesome. But the second thing is, you can also see when it started initially, they were both at the same level. So I had them both secured into the holders. The one thing we did notice is that you may want to lift one of them up a little bit because it was dragging down, and with the Silhouette, it doesn't actually prop it up for you. So if you're going to use 2 colors, my suggestion is while the first one is going, prop the second one up, and before the second one starts, prop that one, pull this one, pull it out a little bit so you don't get that. So once we got to the blue, I pulled the black up. We didn't get any leaking. So what I would do with this now is just click unload. It's going to unload off of the mat. I have my piece of wood here. I have my trolley sketch that I have my Micromark and my fine print. I can then go ahead and start wood burning over this or whatever else I wanted to do. So our next project, we're going to use the Silhouette metal etching sheets, which are also available on micromark.com. The metal etching sheets allow you to get a nice etched look in any color that we offer. The 3-pack comes with black, it comes with pink, and it comes with gold. So here, I'm just going to show you guys by etching a fish. I thought it was a pretty cool picture, so we'll see how it comes out. I wanted to start off by showing you how you switch the tools from the Carriage. The Carriage is very simple to use. You just pull this section out, take my sketch pen out, put it over here. This is the Silhouette etching tool, available on micromark.com as well. It's gotten a lot of use out of it from us so far. You just plop it down, put it in here. It does say that it could only be used with the Curio, but you can use it in your Silhouette CAMEO 3, which is a new part of the CAMEO 3. So you're gonna see here, I'm just gonna load the mat in. I already have my etching sheet affixed where I want it based on what the project is that I'm doing. And I'm going to make sure to pull over my wheels that are going to keep it where it's supposed to be that we talked about. Lower this down, and then I'm going to load my mat in. So here we go. In the design store, I'm done with my design. It looks the way I want it to look. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit send. Now this time you can see for tool 1 is the only tool that I'm using, and Carriage 2 is empty. So tool 1 here I have set to metal sheets etching, which is the metal etching sheets. The action that you have to use on this is sketch. Unfortunately, they haven't updated it to say etch yet, but it will work, as you'll see. And then also, it's gonna not allow you to do the sketch pen when you're using metal etching sheets, which is just fine because it knows you cannot draw on them. So you're gonna click pen holder, and that's holding the etching tool. So I'm gonna click send on here, and it's gonna pull it in. We always wanna make sure that it follows through properly. And you're gonna see it start etching. Alright, so our sketch is done on the etching metal, but what I'm gonna do is show you that if you do want to customize this stuff, you can put your name on here or somebody's name or whatever you're trying to do, and just make sure that it fits on your sheet and go ahead and just put it on there. In this case, I'm gonna remove the fish because I already finished that part and I know where I want this to go, and go ahead and send it back exactly through the machine where it was, and it's gonna grab that part and it's gonna customize that for me. Alright, so we're done with the fish, so I'm going to go ahead and unload it from the mat. I think it came out pretty awesome looking, and I think Vince will love it. So, it's a nice thick piece of metal. You can't cut it, again, with this machine. It's not to be cut. You can put it in a picture frame. You can put it as a plate in front of a desk. However you want to do it. So the next project that I have for you guys is using the black styrene. You can cut up to 2 millimeters thick with our deep cut blade, but today I'm going to be using the auto blade that comes with the Cameo 3, which is a great feature. It doesn't do deep cutting, but it will definitely cut through this 1/16 inch black styrene. I also took the micro mark sheets that we have already printed with this cute brick on it, and also some roof shingles. So what I'm going to do for you is show you how to make a quick and easy structure. I have inside of the design studio where I just took a couple lines and did a mock-up of what I would want my structure to look like. I'm keeping it simple for you guys. So basically I made a square and then I just made what the front of the house would look like. So we're gonna cut this out first on the red brick, and then I'll go ahead and show you the roof after. So I still have my etching tool in. I'm gonna remove the etching tool, put it in the holder. And then this is the auto blade that comes with the Cameo 3. I'm gonna put that in my tool number 1. Fasten it in there, and then I'm gonna load my mat up. Again, I'm only working with this section of the mat right here because I only want to cut the brick first. You can do it all at once, but I just want to show you how simple it is to use a large piece and be able to move where you want to. So you always want to make sure you have it locked down. It is locked in this case. And it's tool number 1. We're cutting out styrene. It already knows that because I chose it for this project. It's gonna cut and it's going to use the auto blade. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit send on this and you'll see it start to work. So we're gonna go ahead and unload this sheet, and what I wanted to show you guys is you can work on a larger project and move it around depending on what you want to cut out on the sheet at that time. So the reason I only cut the brick out is because I want to do the roofing separately, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna put it to the side. So let me just set my mat up how I want it so I can make sure to put my design correctly in the studio. There we go. Now, on the screen here, you can see for the Silhouette Studio, it has the shape of the entire 12 by 12 cutting mat. I'm going to go ahead and highlight these that I already did, and I'm going to throw them over to the gray area. So now they're in this gray area behind my cutting mat, so they will not be in the cutting section. So now I'm going to take the roofing section that we have roofing shingles on. You always want to count from the mat how big of a space you have. So each grid I count. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grids worth of gray. So I want to make sure on my screen that when I'm counting it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grids is enough for it to go ahead and cut. So I'm going to plop this into the cutter here. We still have our auto blade loaded in. I'm going to load in this mat. I'm going to hit send on my screen here, and now I'm just going to send this over because we put the rest of what was on our mat all the way to the gray area, so it's only going to focus on cutting what I have here. So we're using the same settings. It's styrene, we're going to cut, and we're using the auto blade. As you see, it's adjusting itself for what it has to cut. Okay, so our project here is done. I'm going to go ahead and unload the mat, remove the styrene, and then I'm just going to show you how simple it is to just pop out these sections. So although it doesn't cut all the way through the styrene, you're easy to pop it out. And it's going to be exactly how I wanted it. 2 roofing shingles. So, I mean, you can see it's really simple. If you want to make your own designs, it's really unlimited with what you can do. And we do know it's a cutter, right? So you can cut tons of different materials. You can cut vinyl, you can cut heat transfer material. You can cut other thin foam materials. You can also cut thin leather. You do want to get our deep cut blade that we carry for some of those other applications. If you're going to go up to the 2 millimeters thick, you definitely need the deep cut blade. Otherwise, you may have to snap some of these. I just used the regular auto blade that comes with the machine. Just an example of what I was doing, you could see I wanted to glue these guys together here. You got a little roof and you have the sides of the house. So very simple to use this machine, unlimited possibilities. So check it out, see what you can do with your Silhouette.